Okay, welcome to Basement Door.
Actually,
We've got
wait,
shush now. I'm talking. All right, that's not the way to start it. All right. Welcome to Basement Door, everybody. This is Bosco Bosco. Please welcome Oshin, Matt, and Rachel from the band. We're going to talk about some of the stuff they've been doing and what they've got coming up in the future. And it should be fun because we've had great fun already tonight trying to link all this up. So, hi guys, how you doing? You all right?
Good, mate. Glad to be here.
It's been a great evening so far.
Good, yes. So how's lockdown treating you? Obviously, you haven't been to the barbers. Rachel, you're excluded from that.
That's true.
It's been surprisingly busy, considering we're not meant to be doing anything, because we've still been able to Zoom and chat and plan and release and a whole various bunch of things. So we've been busy, but we haven't been busy, if that makes sense. You know, it's been very much sat in one place, just doing this for 2 months.
We should explain that sort of like for number one that Rachel and Matt are brother and sister. And Oshin is Oshin is adopted. So.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, you may as well be.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. So the band is Bosco Bosco. Where did the name come from again? There was an interesting story about the name Bosco Bosco, wasn't there?
That's one from Matt. That's one from Matt.
Right, Matt.
It's from a play.
Bosco.
It's from a play called The Foreigner, where a man basically doesn't want anyone to talk to him on this retreat, so he pretends that he's a foreign prince and that no one can talk to him because he doesn't speak any English. But you know, it eventually gets to this point where everyone keeps trying to speak to him, and he has to make up this whole language because he's told everyone, or he's got a friend to tell them he can't speak English, and the first words he says in this made-up language are Bosco Bosco.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean anything, but it's
just come from
trying to
Yeah.
Cool.
It also means forest in, is it Latin?
No, Italian.
Did you say Rachel?
No.
Did you say Tibetan?
She said Latin, which isn't as bad, but
Italian, Latin.
I was testing you. No, yeah, it means
both romance now.
It means forest in Italian, which is cool because we love trees.
It's good, yes. So interesting. I did a fact on our street the other day. So, do you know what the smallest tree in the world is?
Is it like a crepe plant or something like that?
It's a little willow in Finland, I think it is, and it's 2 inches tall. Only grows 2 inches tall. It's tiny.
Oh,
that's so cute.
Really?
Yeah.
It could be a band logo, guys. We could have 2 pygmy willows.
Yes, yeah. I'll send you the name of what they are, and you can have a look at it. Yeah, I've got the interesting fact book, so I'll just every now and then check it out. You know.
How are you doing your evenings, Kev?
What am I doing for my evenings?
Oh, that's what you do in your evenings. Reading fact books.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. Yes, fact sheets and quizzes, and keep the brain going, and exercise in the morning, quizzes in the evening. So
nice, mind and body. He's a well-rounded man.
Yeah, got to do it. Especially at my age, you've got to keep yourself healthy. So good diet.
26.
Like that, So let's talk about Bosco Bosco. How long have you been Bosco Bosco now? It's been 2 years.
Quite a long time.
Yeah, maybe about.
I think it's 2.5.
Yeah,
I think we basically Matt and Rach have been playing for quite a long time already, and I kind of joined in like summer of 2018. Summer of 2018. I want to say. And we were just jamming, and then a few months after that, we kind of just decided to be Bosco Bosco. So there is no official date, but it's sort of like the end of 2018, I reckon. Was when
you played at the 2019 Battle of the Bands on one of our heats at the end in the scoop.
Yeah.
we started doing quite a lot of like local gigs to kind of, I guess, see how people kind of responded to the music. And when I guess it started going well and we felt like a band, we went to the studio and brought our first track out about a year ago this month. Yeah, pretty so. So we've been about, I guess, a band that releases music for about 1 year now.
Yeah.
So, a band that releases music for 1 year, but the idea of doing a band for like 2.5, whatever.
Yeah. Because I mean, I know you guys have been, obviously, I was going to say you've been friends for a long time, but Rachel and Matt have been friends for a very long time. Well, we hope to be friends. But I remember sort of like, so Oshin, you were in Vendetta, and then Midnight, what was it called? Midnight? Matt, what was the band you were in?
Friday Mistress.
Friday Mistress. Friday Mistress. I was thinking Midnight. Why was I thinking Midnight? Midnight Express. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, Friday Mistress. Yes. And you were in. I think you were in the first of our battle bands ever that we ever did.
Yeah.
And I remember you breaking a string and being really heartbroken about thinking you didn't perform well, and it was like, but you were actually really good.
Oh, thanks, Kevin.
It was really good. Yeah, I missed that.
Was it the low D string, the only string you play?
That
we can mute
a bass player making jokes about Muse.
Well, he's got somebody's Oshin. The problem is that he's got like 6 strings. You've only got 4, mate. So that's
I know. You should have seen me with my 7-string bass. Then I would.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Nice. Is it fretless or?
No. It's gone. I don't have it anymore. I sold it.
Oh well, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And we did the actual, was it the bass guitar from Friday Mistress as a gift? Because Honor Davis, she bought that off you or got that off you, the guitar at the...
Yeah, she did.
And then she donated it to us, I think it was last 2019 Battle of the Bands, and we gave it as a prize, one of the prizes. So
my gosh,
that's
so
gone
cool.
Full circle into another band. I can't remember who's got it now, but I must check out. See who's got that
Yeah,
guitar.
I'd love to see them play it. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
I like how it's the community.
It was a red one, wasn't it? Is it a red one?
It's red, like a shiny scratch plate. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. And we got Andrew Scrimshaw from the Guitar Workshop in Richmond, and got him to just make sure it was all tuned up and all the frets were nice and the keys were all in working, and it made sure it's all refurbed. And then we gave that as a prize. It was really well received. I think it's really good. Yeah. Anyway,
that's cool, man.
We've got a lot of history here.
Yeah.
And Rachel, you've been in a couple of Groove Academy bands, haven't you?
Yeah. I think we all have, to be honest. There have been quite a lot of kind of little bands from Groove with their people, which is always fun because you get to work with everyone. But then obviously we just couldn't get rid of Oshin, so he's kind of stuck along.
I don't know why you're looking surprised, mate. You must get this all the time.
I do.
You do.
I actually love the attention, so it's fine.
Oh right, okay. Right.
So,
let's move on to. We're going to talk about a video that I was in called Pretty Town.
Yeah,
I was in it twice. I've got to ask you, why did you want to put me on a table with a hen party as a middle-aged man with all these young girls? Why did you do that to me? It was the weirdest experience.
The idea of the video is it's like a celebration of your local pub, you know. And we were trying to find a lot of the crazy things that you find just down at your local pub that we wouldn't find anywhere else. So we wanted like a range of people and a range of scenarios, you know what I mean? And it's about the community, which is what you're a big part of, Kevin.
Okay. And then later on I end up at the bar giving a scowl about the young people.
Yes, you play player and grumpy man.
Player and grumpy man, no.
And not much acting needed for either person.
The reason why you're grumpy man at the bar is because my dad didn't want to do it.
Oh, really? Okay, that's fair enough. It was good fun though. So Pretty Town. Then so you were the story behind Pretty Town. I mean, the videos you're doing are really good. So it's like they're really interesting to watch. You can't sort of like not go through the whole video and watch the whole thing because it's like quite compelling. What's going to happen next, you know? So what's the Pretty Town story?
So Pretty Town, the song itself, is about a night out, a fun time with your mates, which of course right now is it's both sad to listen to and quite, you know, we're excited for when we can actually play it and then go to the pub. Right now we're like, I wish we could, but no, it's basically a song about having a good time. So hence why we filmed it in a bar with a Hindu, with shots, with a live band, just a bit of fun.
It was really good. Really enjoyed it. It's really cool. And so
there's no.
Go on.
I was just going to say, there's no real story behind Pretty Town. It was just like, imagine, you know, you go to the pub. If you go to the pub like every other week or whatever, every week, you're normally going to just see like one crazy thing a month, maybe. Okay. The idea was thought to just put all those crazy things you see into just one bar, and it's just you as experiencing all these things going around and seeing all the crazy. That was the idea. We never set out to do like any little or a big story. There was, you know, it was just like
just a year in one night sort of thing.
Yeah.
No, it's just a standard Bosco Bosco pub night.
Yeah, I don't know what night it is.
That's also true. That's also true.
Happens every night when you go down the pub. I can probably believe that.
So when you get the dark roots out, this boy goes a bit crazy.
Okay. And the video itself, I mean, I remember there was quite a few people who were doing production and bits and pieces. So how do you get how do you think about sort of like filming and the way you're filming something like that?
It takes a lot of planning and preparation. Like, you have to know exactly what you're doing before you go in, like maybe doing test shoots and having it all written down on paper for a long time before, because there's not much room to change your mind on the day. And when you've got a big cast and crew there, everything kind of needs to run like clockwork.
Yeah, there's so much to think about, you know, that when you wouldn't think, even in terms of cast and food, you've got to feed people, you know, if they're coming to help you out, you know, they won't have time to go and get their own food, and it's nice to give them, so you've got to just have everything ready. And
I guess looking at what your budget is, because you can do, I guess, the same video on several different budgets. Whether you do you get a completely like a production company to come and do it, or do you have some mates you can use with their equipment? Do you hire some stuff in? I guess it's about looking at all the resources you have on your table, and those resources are money, but it's also your friends and equipment and things that you can pull together.
Time.
And time, yeah, exactly, because maybe that's a resource you have when money isn't one, and you can go into coming up with these crazy ideas that you maybe don't have the big budget to shoot, but the ideas kind of do a bit of the work for you.
Even from making your own props and stuff, you know, you don't have to hire everything. If you need a little phone or an old computer, you know, those are two things we needed for the shoot. Rather than go out and source them or buy them from the prop company, it's like, right, what have we got in the loft? What can we put in the video that we've already got? You know, it's about using what you've got and utilising that to your advantage. And that comes with planning far before, you know, months before, doing a recce, having a go.
The planning of Pretty Town was actually, you know, the video itself is quite complicated. When you actually, like, on the surface of it, it's a fun, silly video, you know, it's us just going through a pub, but every camera move is planned to the second. Basically every action that the extras are doing is really planned. And, you know, I remember me and Matt, especially, in like, we probably came up with the idea maybe 5-6 months before we even shot the video, and we had stacks of just notes and paper of just how like in depth we were going to go, what like all these different ideas, what we could use, what we couldn't use. And like, I think the key to making such a great video is just prep. Like, it's just months of thinking about every possibility. What if this person doesn't turn up? What if this person can't actually do what their thing? Can we get away with it? Can we not? You know, and we had every little detail was planned, and I think that's the most important thing for any shoot.
I think one of the things. So there's a friend of mine called Cheryl Robson. She did the Island That Rocked video with all the Ilpie Island stuff. She did all that. She does a lot of videos for BBC and stuff. And when I was talking to her, it must have been a couple of years ago, about sort of like doing videos, she goes, the first thing you need to do is get a storyboard and plan how you want the story to go, and plan it on a storyboard sort of stuff. And I've never got around to doing it, because it's like I've got the time. But,
it takes a long time.
Like, from what I've just heard you saying, it's like it does take a lot of time to prepare, but it's worth it because the video is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to go now and have a look at that video, or a clip of it, and then if anyone wants to see it in full, they can see all your videos full on. Is it on your YouTube station, on your YouTube channel?
On YouTube. Yeah.
So you can see all these videos that we're going to show you, all three of them. You can see them in their full extent, and they're worth watching the whole thing. So we're just going to see some clips now. We're going to watch Pretty Town. So we'll be back in just 2 shakes.
The sun is down, but we're staying up. So get involved and try your luck. Is in the air and it feels so right. It's borrowed time, but it's ours tonight. Doesn't matter what your boyfriend says. We're still heading down. Gonna give this town a call to head. Let's paint this pre-town. Let's paint this pre-town. Up and down. Up and down. Potential's around. This gorgeous our playground. So turn up. It's your round. Oh, come on out, come on out, come on out. You know you want to. Or you have absolutely no idea what to do. We're spinning faster past.
Cool. So that was Pretty Town, clip of the video, Pretty Town. Worth going to watch the whole video. And welcome back. And we're going to now talk about He Said, She Said, which is another one of your videos. So let's talk about sort of the sort of music production in this sort of, like, because I know one thing I must say is you're all quite talented musicians, and you know, and vocalists as well. I think you could all, I think Oshin screams, but yeah, in a metal way.
That was my past. That was my past. I'm a changed man.
So tell us about sort of like He Said, She Said, the sort of songwriting, the story behind it, the you know, and you know, how do you sort of develop a song like that?
Yeah. So He Said, She Said was actually one of the first tracks that we wrote. Despite the fact we just released it, actually, it's our latest single. Check it out. Let us know what you think. No. Yeah, I think it started with Matt and I writing it, and it developed naturally. Gosh, how long ago did we write it?
We're looking about 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And we'll go to like different rehearsal spaces. At the time, we were sort of looking for a new project, and we'll go with different friends and like jam different styles.
I wasn't in the band. I wasn't in the band at this point.
No, Osh, that's why it's so good. Osh in the count. Yeah,
We're
no,
gonna put a
so
scoreboard up here as like Rachel 1, Oshin 0.
Yeah, and we developed it that way. Lyrically, Matt and I wrote it together, and it's had lots of different meanings throughout. Since we first wrote it, you know, we wrote it inspired by something, and then a few months later we jam it again and think, oh, actually I can really connect to this on another level now. And then a few months later we jam it again and think, oh yeah, that really makes sense because I can really relate to that. So it's really nice, and even now I relate to it in a different way that I do when I first wrote it, and it's just about adapting things slightly. But yeah, that's how we kind of wrote the vocal side of it. And then instrumentally, as Matt said, we jammed with different friends. got different ideas from them, experimented with different instruments. Then when Oshin came in, got him on bass, and we recorded it, I think, it must have been about a year and a half ago, roughly. I'm not quite sure the exact month.
I think it May 2019 is when we recorded it.
However long ago that was, I have no idea. But yeah, so we recorded it quite a while ago, and revisited it since, made a few little changes.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Once it's recorded, we tend to like record the track quite bare bones and do a lot of like changes in it once we've recorded, like playing with different synths, playing with the guitar sounds. It's sort of gone from being quite a heavy track to then being quite poppy, and then we sort of added a bit more of the rock in, and it's kind of somewhere in that kind of alt rock middle now, I think. But I think that it really helped us kind of find our sound, being one of the first songs. Just having it all like in the box to just spend a long time playing around with.
Yeah, and it's one of our more sorry, I was just gonna say it's one of our more poppy songs, but we always like to, if we write a song like that, we're like, how can we rock it up a little bit, you know? So it's nice. It's nice to have slight different genres within one genre, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's good. And I know, was that so you're saying sort of like, you know, if you do the recording the first part, then after that it's about production and putting stuff in. And I know that when I did an interview with Eloise a little while ago, and she was saying sort of she sort of has a song that she's written and does and plays around, and it's on production, and she puts all these stuff in, and she'll let it fester and let it sort of sit there, and then she'll go back to it every now and again, and it'll improve. And I wonder if it's a good way of writing a really good song is to actually just let it sit, unless you can just go magically come up with an instant sort of like, yeah, that's brilliant. But maybe letting it sit for a while and revisiting it and is a good way of developing a song. It's a bit like the videos, prep and time.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's quite nice letting it simmer sometimes and coming back.
We definitely let it simmer.
Yeah. However, saying that, you know, it's not impossible to come up with a great track that you write and record and release within a month. Sometimes that might be your music. So, you know, we, like, for example, we might talk about it later, but our Halloween EP, we decided almost at the end of summer, let's do a Halloween EP, wrote, recorded, released. So, you know, so it's not impossible. It's nice to do it both ways to see what works best for you. Depends what kind of thing you're writing about, what goal you have. But yeah, benefits, pros and cons to both ways, I think.
I think good. When we have let some of our songs simmer, even, you know, if there are some tunes that I won't say any names, but are unreleased, and we're definitely thinking they've been simmering for a while on a low heat, and we're just thinking, is it actually right? Are we changing as people? Are we changing as musicians? Do we actually want to change a few bits? So letting songs simmer for as long as you can is actually a really, really good idea. I know there are some people, and I was in my old band, who were definitely like, let's just get a song out, let's just jump about on the stage and let's just go crazy. And it's amazing and it feels great. But actually taking a step back, really, like, you know, people say, oh, you listen to your own music. Like, yeah, because I want to know if it's any good. And between us, we've probably listened to all the Bosco thousands of times, but it's not because we're like off ourselves. It's just because we want to make sure that it is right. And you know, you can listen to a tune 100 times, and then on the 101st time, you're like, actually, you know what, that guitar part, we could change that, and it might be better. So having a tune simmer, I think, is a really, really good idea. That's my point.
Do you think sort of like, I wonder, I mean, I know the sort of like Rachel was saying, there's pros and cons for both things, and some bands, like, you know, look at the Beatles, it was like bang, 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 Oasis, bang, 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 knocking out tunes. But some of the better ones, maybe the ones that live longest in the memory, are the ones that sit there and simmer and everything. And I just wonder if sort of like whether the youth culture of today is sort of used to this very fast-paced way of living, that they feel pressured into producing a song and getting it out there, and you must do one a week or one a month or whatever, you know.
Definitely.
There's a someone I follow on Instagram, and she's been doing a song a day for a couple of years, and it's like, you know, it's crazy. I wouldn't recommend listening. But I'm not going to mention her name.
Don't.
But it can be quite painful at times. But it's like this constant sort of like I've got to get a song out, I've got to get a song out, I've got to get a song out, and setting yourself a target of doing, And I know quite a few of the bands. Oh, we've got to get this thing out, and it's like, well, maybe you don't have to get it out. Maybe if you get one out and people like it, they'll be waiting for your next one, and when you do release it, as long as you publicize it right, it might be the right time to, just do it like that. But
I think you're right, and I think that's a really good thing you touched on with publicizing it, right?
Yeah.
Because I think as well as wanting to write it and finish it quickly, that there is an urge to release something as soon as you finished it because you want the whole world to see it. But sometimes it is good to wait until you've got a strategy or a plan, whether that's a music video or whatever your plan is. Sometimes it is, even when it's finished, to sit on it, to, like what Oshin said, maybe you get a last minute stroke of genius, or even just to find the right time to bring it out.
Definitely. I will say one last point though. Sometimes letting it simmer, one bad idea is that you will become a perfectionist, and you might never be happy with it. There will always be something, even if you release something that you think, oh, I should have sang that in a different way, or I should have played that different note. That there will always be that. So you can't let it simmer until it's perfect, because it will never be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I quite agree. Yeah. And I guess it's also, as a band, it's like having a baby, and you want to show everyone your baby, and especially when you're doing great videos as well. It's like, here's the pictures of my baby. Look, it's like
literally.
That's the thing with He Said, She Said. We filmed that. All right, we filmed that in November 2019. So, and we released it at the end of January 2021. That was simmering for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it was part of it wasn't because it wasn't right when we filmed it. It was right when we filmed it. It was just because obviously the whole 2020 situation got in the way. But we had a long time to really think about that video and getting it perfect, because it's another complicated video. There was a big shoot. There's a post production involved, and we had a long time to really just think, yes, this is what we want to do. We're confident with it. Are there any last changes? No, they're not. Brilliant. Boom. Done. Out. After a year and a half.
I really like the video. I think it's another really great video. I think it's really nicely done. It's quite a simple looking sort of, that sort of.
Careful what you say here.
I know it's a lot more complicated than it sort of looks, but it's.
I'm joking.
It's pleasing to the eye to watch. Let's put it that way. It's very easy to watch. Rather than sort of going around a pub going, oh, what's going on there? What's going on there? What's going on?
Yeah.
So should we go and have a look at He Said, She Said video?
Yeah, please do.
And we will come right back. See you in 2.
Couldn't find out what had been the cause of their connection long before. They don't want to, but they've needed to discuss what's been wrong for so long. They don't want to, but they've needed to adjust, not prolong. He said ba-ba-da-da-da, she said ba-ba-da-da. The words don't match, what goes in one ear and out the other. He said ba-ba-da-da-da, she said ba-ba-da-da. It's the same again, same again.
There we go. Welcome back. That was He Said, She Said. Small clip, but really great. And there's a couple of were the actors in that your friends? I take it, or did you pay them? Because they were really good.
They were our friends before we filmed the video. But after 12 hours of filming in a wet field. No, we were very lucky that a lot of our friends came and helped on what was quite a grueling shoot in a rainy field.
It looked really good. I didn't notice it was raining, but that's probably the art of.
No, this is He Said, She Said, isn't it? This is He Said, She Said.
Yeah.
They were talking about.
We're talking about which time?
No. He said
they
she.
were
We
our
just
friends,
watched.
the two
We
actors.
just watched. He said. She said. It was the.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's confusing.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's where she's running and she's
Do we
running
wanna start
away
that
and all
again?
that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Do we rewind?
No.
I want to
We'll
get.
leave that in.
I made a great joke about witch hunt, and now it's not relevant.
It'll be relevant in a minute.
Okay, yeah, remember that one, guys.
Okay. So let's move on to witch hunt then. Have you got any jokes about witch hunt that you'd like to say, Matt?
Oh, it's really funny you should say that, Kevin.
You're supposed to do it after the video, no, before. Yeah, of course, it does matter.
Yeah. So, well, for the witch hunt video, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but to give it a summary, it's about a summer camp a girl goes to. Rachel's playing that girl, and while things start off lovely and fun, there's something sinister going on underneath the surface. I think this is the first time we've tried to make a video that isn't exactly sort of following the lyrics. It's more about in like the general kind of vibe and kind of theme of the song. Because we were doing it for Halloween, we were sort of thinking of classic like Halloween B movies and the sort of tropes that you get at Halloween, and for us that was like American like high school and summer camp, which is like a photo she did, and like it's funny because that's so detached from like our actual lives, but we feel kind of we all know and recognize the symbols from it because we kind of see it so much like in the media and film, Netflix. So that's what we've tried to create for this video.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. It's very interesting. I wanted to talk to you about the I don't know if we're going to see this scene, whether you want to see this scene in a minute, but the fight scene with Rachel. Honestly, I've done like I did like over 25 years of martial arts, and I was like I recognised some bits in there. I was like, oh, that's really it's a bit like Kokenagi sort of stuff. So was there professionals involved in that, or amateur martial artists involved?
I can take this one. I can take this.
Go on
one.
then.
So
Oshin's been left out.
Our mates. So we've got two friends who are I don't know what words to say, but they're very good at what they do. They're I don't know if they're professional or not, but they're very good at what they do. And we asked them. We knew we wanted the fight scene from the beginning. And so we asked them, we don't know anything about fighting. Can you come and show us some moves, show us what to do? And they ended up actually choreographing pretty much that whole fight scene in a garden, probably 2-3 weeks before the actual shoot.
Oh, that was in a garden? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, no. The shoot you see in the video, that was in the field.
Oh, I said the rehearsals and the choreographing.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is part of our what I like to think good planning is that we knew we would be doing this fight scene, and we knew that it would take a lot of time out that we had for shooting, and we didn't want to waste that time learning a fight scene. So we choreographed it all in a garden weeks before we actually shot it, which was really bloody helpful. Like they showed us the moves, they showed us how to land safely, they showed Rachel how to do these. Rachel's basically beating up a whole bunch of people. They showed her how to do that without actually beating up a whole bunch of people.
I did actually beat up in the video.
Well, that's true.
Just to get that hold tight. I think Rachel and Matt are frozen there. So, you're back in. Yeah, that's good. Okay, back. All right. Okay. Yeah, go on, Oshin. Sorry. Yeah.
So that was so helpful. And as Matt said earlier, we had. That shoot was really big. It was big, probably in terms of numbers, not bigger than Pretty Town, but like the biggest shoot. We had a proper set. We had cameras. We had lights. We had a whole bunch of stuff.
We did have cameras on the other shoots.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
But we had generator, we had gazebos, we had the whole car park basically full of people who'd all come to help. And the one thing we really didn't want to do is keep them waiting in the cold, in the rain, while we learn a fight scene. So and of course we had the people who choreographed it were there on the day and making sure everyone's safe, and obviously we taking precautions where possible, and yeah, it just works out so well. And I think using your time wisely is really what helped with that shoot.
It does look
Planning
really good.
advance.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
And this is the second video of yours I was in.
Yeah, exactly. It's becoming a theme, the glue in the Bosco cinematic universe.
Yeah, so that was quite interesting doing that. And yeah, and obviously I had problems with my motorbike on the day, which thank you, Matt, for your car's battery, who kept charging my bike up every 2 seconds to keep it running. So yeah,
All about teamwork.
yeah. But so the witch hunt ones, I thought that it was a really good, and like I say, for Halloween, it did have that really good feel about it, and quite an interesting, the culty sort of story behind it, and
Yeah, so the cult side of it was really fun to think about all the different props, makeup, subtle changes that were made, because of course He Said, She Said and Pretty Town, neither of those were anything like that kind of vibe. So that was really fun to get involved with. Also, the actual song itself stemmed from the Salem witch trials, which again, cult vibes.
Yeah, so we took similar inspiration from that with maybe a different interpretation of the music video. We put together like a group of references, some of them being like sort of Salem, like old 80s horror movies that you'd expect, but others were like IKEA adverts that felt a bit creepy.
You'd be surprised, honestly, the amount of hours we spent just watching creepy videos. And it's like, how was this IKEA advert so creepy? But it really was. So inspiration also taken from that.
Wow, IKEA, it's creepy. Okay.
We'll send you the reference.
There was a when I was younger, I was about sort of 16, 17, and we had these little mopeds, and we went out. We'd heard about this thing that was going on, and I lived in Bedfordshire, and there's quite a lot of little hotspots of like Coveney type things going on. There's a place called Amped Hill. So we went up to Amped Hill, to the top of this. It's a hill, obviously, Amped Hill, and we went to the top of this hill and everything. And there's a little spinny lot of woods up there, and there were some druids up there one night going around a tree thing, and they were dancing around this tree thing, and they and we sort of saw them, and we was like, oh no, just get out of here. We just get out of here. We don't know what they're going to do. So it's like, they probably wouldn't have done anything, because knowing now, the probably druids are quite peaceful. They're okay, but it's like. But then it was like we were terrified. We were sort of on the bike off down the road.
Oh my gosh!
So that's crazy.
Yeah, it was really sort of weird to sort of like see them dancing around, and
yeah, and watching videos is really, really interesting to watch. But at the same time, there is a level of uncomfortable that you're feeling, and I can imagine in real life that must have been quite unsettling.
Yeah.
One of our favorite things about the video, and when we were shooting the video, and to be fair, a lot of this kind of came on the day, is our movement director was just coming up with these really crazy like dance moves to do around our little font thing. I imagine what you were probably quite similar to sort of able to do, but yeah, much fun doing these crazy dance moves and like running around a little bath in the middle of the field. Like, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Good. Cool. Okay, well, let's go and watch Witch Hunt, a clip of Witch Hunt. And as I said before, I'd recommend people go and watch all of your videos, because they are really well done and well thought out, and they're good fun to watch. And the songs, the music behind them, I mean, we're talking about the videos a lot, but the music behind them is pretty cool as well. So it's worth going to see them. So let's go and watch Witch Hunt, and we'll be back in just 2 minutes to finish up.
Different sort of crowd. You need something to believe.
we go. We're back from the spooky witch hunts. Really good. Glad to be a part of that as well. That might be a big thing in the future. It might be a cult thing. Like, do you remember Bosco Bosco and Kev on the motorbike? And
We would love it if you're in all future videos as well.
Yeah, that's good. So we need to sort of like think about sort of like also we're looking at maybe coming out of this lockdown in March, gigging probably maybe May, June, July. I don't know. We've only got one gig placed in at the moment, which is on the 3rd of July. We're hoping that's going to go ahead. We're not sure yet. But for a band, I mean, you learn all your stuff. You spend years honing your art, putting your songs together and everything, and then at the moment you've got nowhere to play. I mean, how's that feeling? To it must be
awful.
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, we had our first headline gig planned for the Fighting Cocks back in April. We were super excited for that. And then, just obviously April was pretty new into the lockdown thing, so got cancelled. And then the poster remained in the pub. So then when pubs then reopened and we went there, we just sat underneath the poster saying Bosco Bosco 4th of April, like, it's never gonna happen. So that was really disheartening and quite disappointing. But we've managed to obviously stay in touch, obviously. But keep chatting, keep writing. But it's not the same as gigging, and of course all we can do is look forward to it. But for other bands as well, it's fine not to be rehearsing every week during lockdown. Like motivation does drop, and that's natural for humans. But then also your drive to want to perform increases. So it's a weird mix of like being like, I'm really, really desperate to play, but also, of course, everything's kind of, your mood is lowered as well, and that's normal. So don't beat yourself up for not rehearsing or perfecting everything at the moment just because you have the time, because once you get a gig booked in, you'll find the time. But the answer to your question, of course, we're missing it. And I booked so many gigs to go and watch as well. These guys have as well. It's like, is this one going to get cancelled or postponed? Am I going to go that one?
It's in June. So, it seems a bit risky.
June 2022.
Yeah. But the one thing that's keeping me going is knowing that there will be a day where we can perform and have a great time with our mates and, of course, everyone. And just perform and share our music, and hopefully by then everyone will know the lyrics.
Yes, that's a great thing, isn't it? As long as you get your video out there, everyone's going to know about it. Yeah, at least put your lyrics up, everybody. At least put your lyrics up, and then people will write lyrics.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Nothing better than people singing your lyrics back to you on stage, is there?
Oh, the best.
100%.
So, well, we're gonna wrap up that now. I know that sort of like there's been, I thought of a thing yesterday about a load of comedians who aren't being able to perform and everything, and they're doing jobs like working for Sainsbury's driving, and it's like, well, and the fear is that they may not come back to the comedy, because it's like they've now got a job where they're earning probably more money than they were if they're sort of and it's like they might not come back to it, and it's like that's really sad if we do lose musicians, and especially young musicians at the moment and stuff like that. It would be really hard. It'd be really tough.
We got to keep pushing and hoping.
Yes, definitely.
We got to, because if we don't,
Yeah, I would definitely recommend. Just quickly, I keep promoting this. Dave Ambrose wrote a book called How to Be a Rock Star. It's fantastic. It's really good. So I would sort of, that's. I know I shouldn't be plugging someone else on your video, but
we'll take advice.
It's for you guys to read. It's like, because he was one of the original bassists in Fleetwood Mac, and him and Mick Fleetwood are really still good friends. But the amount of people he's played with, and you think, well, thank God he could do it then, because I don't know what they would be doing now. But he talks about the sort of being 14 and 15 in clubs with the likes of Mick Jagger and the Hendrix coming over from America, these young people doing all these stuff in clubs and stuff, and and practicing and everything. And I think that's just what things like Basement Door are doing, and you were young once.
Still am.
Rachel's still.
I still am. Thank you.
But anyway, hopefully, if everyone behaves themselves, we can come out to play, and I think, you know, bands like yourselves and I don't know if it's going to be, well, because I know that sort of some of the venues are closed down and everything, but I know it's going to be sort of like people are scrabbling to get gig places. There's going to be lots of competition to do it. I think we're going to be, as the Basement Door, we're going to be pretty busy booking in every week gigs, and maybe to start with, maybe 2 gigs a week, a Friday and,
That'd be
and
brilliant.
Saturdays, just to keep to catch up with what we lost out on last year and whatever. And we've got to do the final of the Battle of Bands, which we haven't done yet, which is really, yeah, still got a lot. So hopefully all those bands are still together, and they can come and do the final. That'd be sad. And yeah, and then we've got to hope that all the venues can sync up and say, yeah, we can all open now, and that'd be good. And they're ready to open. It'd be cool. So listen, guys, thank you so much, Bosco Bosco. Obviously, one of your members was Aaron, who's not here, but you are looking for a drummer, possibly in the future.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Or a drum machine operator.
Yeah, my mic's doing a really good job at the moment.
Might be good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. So,
we don't know. We work great as a team, but you know, someone needs to hit drums at some point. So it's not maybe. We don't know. Yeah,
it'd be good though. Well, look, I look forward to seeing you live again one day soon. Take care of yourselves and keep your mental health going strong. Thank you for all your nice words to help other people out as well when they're watching this. And guys, everyone go and watch the videos and keep and follow them on the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the YouTube channels and stuff. Great band, great bunch of people. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Kevin.
Good night. We'll see you all soon. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.